we got Jeff East of Union, New Jersey. Jeff, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, well, first off, thanks for having me on. I am Jeff East. I am a district leader here in Union, District 42. I've been living in Union for about 10 years now. I've come to you from Bayonne and Jersey City, and prior to that, I grew up in Montgomery Township in central Jersey. I attended the Pennington School close to Trenton for high school, and after graduation, I went to Middlesex Community College for 3 semesters and transferred out to Jersey City, where I remained for a good period of time. I went to college there, played soccer at the university, and I got into politics as my summer job or my job when I wasn't playing soccer. And that's where I got a love for politics, which leads me, to this moment.
So you're District 42's leader. What does that entail? What's like the job description for a district within a township?
There's no real, definition. There's very little, direction. Basically, you could get on the ballot pretty easy with 15 signatures about, and you'll be, you would try and campaign in about a 4 to 5 to 6 block grid. And it's easy. It's good when you're on a ticket. Like if the establishment here in Union picked you to be a district leader, or if you ran with Jason. In my case, I was with Jason. So that made a lot of things easy with petition-wise. They had a notary and all that stuff. But I joined in late in the game, and I didn't really get a chance to, I didn't have much direction. But we got the signatures, and we were on the ballot, and luckily we won.
So how many residents roughly is in your district about?
Good question. I think it's about 100 households, 150 probably. I've basically narrowed it down to about 6 blocks.
Okay. How's everything going since the election and you won, and how's everything been?
Well, again, there's not much direction where these things come into. So basically, I've just kind of been acting as the mayor of a small city. I've tried to be as accessible as possible, and I stay in good communication with the guys, the great people at the DPW, and I try and make some meetings here and there, be accessible to our actual township committee. But you're just advocating for your neighbors. Obviously in my area specifically, we need some help with the roads. Earnhardt, Highland, haven't been paved in a while, so that's one of my big goals. And it's not really up to me, but it's something I talk about.
So it's been so dealing with DPW, they've been real receptive when you call them and stuff like that.
Yeah, luckily or not luckily, I had an experience, and I came in close contact with Greg Nasta, and we already had kind of like an online correspondence going. So one night a tree fell, he came out, and he was out there, and I was able to talk to him, and he gave me his phone number, and said we can have an open line of communication, and that was huge for me. I'm real grateful to Greg for that. And no matter Greg's the kind of guy where no matter where he stands with you personally, he's still willing to help you during the day. So me being with Jason, he's been a big help.
Okay, so I noticed that the district leaders had basically been like a doormat sort of position before, like even Jason started bringing it up that I know about. a lot of people didn't even know it was district leaders, which is a good thing that it is. So, what's next? Like, district leader. So you guys, do you have meetings with all the district leaders and talk or try to come up with solutions based upon the town, or?
I wish, and that's the way you would think things are running. But as far again, I was column D, so I'm not in with say like the Union County Dems per se, maybe, and I've heard they have their meetings, and I actually heard Jason and his crew have meetings as well. I just haven't really been involved in any of them on either side. I've been to events with Cryan and the establishment per se, but as a collective group, I think after our election there was a little bit of time, but then people started gearing up for the Board of Ed race, which I wasn't really active in, and so I guess I wasn't involved. So I know they've had a meeting in October, and as per November, I have no idea. I have contacts with Jason, but again, I'm advocating for my area.
Yeah.
So collectively, I don't know, how any of that plays together. As per my next step, I'm always thinking, more on a region scale. I would love, a shot at being the freeholder here in Union, because I feel like counties have a lot to offer.
Okay.
The people, a lot of times there's county parks and they go underutilized. And I feel like in areas like this where we're all fighting for space for kids, for baseball fields and soccer fields, I feel like the county could play a good role there. We could open up some of these fields. I know just in my section alone down here on Vauxhall, there's the park on the corner of Vauxhall and Faytoy, which is basically a softball field and a whole other side of the park that is never being used.
Yeah.
And there's also something a little further down on Morris Ave going towards Keene, and it's across from the 7-Eleven, I believe, and it's a good field there too. And for people to say we don't have enough soccer fields or baseball fields or football fields is unacceptable, and we got to do the best for our kids.
Yeah. Union County politics is something, man. It's a lot of. Yeah. I like to always call it a lot of moving parts. Because
I feel blessed for one that I don't have this rich history here, because it keeps me free from a lot of the bias.
Yeah.
And a lot of the beef. So right now I'm relatively flowing from group to group, and I don't have these lifelong, perceptions of people,
Yeah. A lot of times, one thing that I've noticed, definitely in union politics, is that it gets a little bit heated during election time, and a lot of the issues seem like they're really hot button issues, but a lot of times people really do work together. A lot. Definitely behind the scenes, I know a lot of people that do work together, and they don't really act like they work together, or they may be like, we're going against each other, but we're working together for the common good of the town and of the county. But like I said, Union County has a lot of moving parts. You got different districts within the county, and a lot of people hold a lot of different hats, and it kind of confuses people, because like I know one time years ago, before you lived up there, they had Mayor Beer Temple was the mayor for like 35, 34 years.
Yeah.
Was the mayor of the town, and then they instituted the that's when they came up with the township committee thing and all that stuff. And a lot of people want to, we vote for one mayor. They want to go back to that, and that would institute the Faulkner Act. And I don't think a lot of people understand the reason why they stopped that was because different areas of town was feeling misrepresented. So a lot of times that's what happens, Because most people can't get into or aren't into everyday politics and what goes on in the town. They just want to go to work, go home, take their kids to play sports or whatever, take their kids to good schools, and they're focused on their day. They're not focused on everything going on like on Route 22 with the traffic. If you don't live by 22 and you don't have to go that way, you would never pay no mind with that stuff. So.
Yeah, I could definitely relate as a parent, with two kids. It's a struggle every day. And I work from home. So even now, with the winter starting, I'm getting kind of cagey. It's important for me to get out there. And that's when a lot of my neighbors will see me, and I'm, out there just walking around and helping clean up the neighborhoods and stuff, because I just need to get out.
Yeah. What was the thing you were doing with the house? I understood, but I didn't understand. I just wanted you to explain it.
Yes, sir.
When you had the picture of the house.
Yeah, in one of the areas, there's a house, and it's been abandoned. I remember bringing my daughter to that park because they had swings over there, and looking over at the house. And when I was in Jersey City and stuff, that was always a hot topic with me, like abandoned lots and rundown properties. So there's a house there, and it's boarded up, and it's the neighborhood in that section. It's beautiful, and for me, I think there should be some movement, whether they're going to renovate the house and move it, or if they're going to level it, or you're going to sell it, and let's get somebody occupying the house. Whether it's overgrown weeds, the grass, it's nobody needs to walk to the school bus and walk by an abandoned lot. I just think our kids deserve better, and it's more just to you have an elected official here. Like, one of the things I can provide is trying to lift, property values and keep these streets clean.
Yeah.
And one of the things would be getting a house out of your neighborhood that's boarded up. That house used to have a fireplace. It fell. It could have fell on the neighbor. It could have, and let's not be too dramatic, but it's a hazard. It's an eyesore. It's and it's been there for 10 years. I understand you got to give these people time. They're paying taxes on it. But in my mind, it's time to move forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And all I could do was advocate for it. All I could do was, cause a stink. It's using a little poetry on Facebook about, putting pressure on people and stuff like that. It's taken the wrong way, and I understand why. But, it was all it's for the homeowners there. It's to, raise property values. It's to, have a nice feeling in your neighborhood,
Yeah. So,
but that's one of the things I've learned too, where I'm coming from isn't where everybody else is coming from. There's an argument to be said that was one of the oldest houses in the neighborhood. It's historical. We like it the way it is. Yada yada yada. And not to discount it by saying that, just etc. And those are valid arguments. I mean, yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that. So the house is considered a is it considered a historical site?
I'm not sure about the historical value. There's been a lot of development in that neighborhood, and anytime there's new development, there's always an argument about keeping the integrity of the neighborhood. They want houses that fit in, and those are valid arguments too.
I know that's a lot of the stuff is going on in town with all the building, with everybody wanting to keep the integrity, but I hope everybody realizes that Union is a pretty old city, a pretty old township, where basically the last battle of the Civil War was fought there. I mean, you do got to move on, but you do gotta, keep the historical value. I don't know about that house. I don't know. That's something good to look into if that house is considered a historic site.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about some other edgier things, I started a fund because whether people want to admit it or not, I mean, in any area, there's people that need help, and I wanted to start a fund where I could, help out. As I'm roaming around, I come across this, I come across that, and it's always nice to have, a little bit of capital. To help people out with. I mean, unfortunately, you can't always just grab 3 or 4 volunteers to go, do this or do that. One of the examples in that neighborhood would be that there's somebody, sick or a couple seniors, and they need some services provided. I mean, home ownership is quite the daunting task, and you don't need too much to be thrown off your rhythm and for this to get the behind or this. So, just for the betterment of everybody, I just thought I could come in and, help some people out with some things. Unfortunately, we had some oversight where it came into the naming of the fund, and that caused some issues, again, that were valid, that I named it the Curryville Support Fund, and some of the lifelongers or, longtime residents were upset, that I named it that I was kind of promoting it on Facebook, and there was a feeling that I was making them look like a charity.
Okay.
But, I was just thinking along the lines of, it was named after, to be an honor, like how people have scholarships and stuff like that, so I didn't mean it by anything like that, and, it was a good learning experience, because you could see, again, that, even where my intentions were pure, it just, everybody's not always going to agree with you, and it's important to move on from things like this and not, kind of sit and sulk.
Yeah.
Definitely some learning experience.
Well, the township, a lot of people don't know, the township does a lot of things within the town that a lot of people just don't know about, because it's not really being, I'm not going to say it's not being promoted, I just think people just don't know. I know in the area of Vauxhall, where I grew up at, the Vauxhall Civic Association, they do a lot of stuff. I'm just naming a few. Even UTCAU, they do some things. I mean, a lot of times these resources are there, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Yeah. They and that was something I was a little slow with. And you got to remember, I mean, I've been in office for 6 months. I know how to run campaigns through, some of my jobs, but I've never quite been a candidate before. So that's, it's been a learning experience. And one of the things I've been trying to be better at, the town does send us emails. I did a blast out of the email they sent us about the Christmas stuff, about, Santa coming to the house, almost like the same program that Jason does. And they had toy drives and stuff like that. And Assemblyman Holly is having a toy drive actually tomorrow night at Roselle Park, things like that. I'm trying to be better with, spilling the beans about that stuff.
I know the police department used to do, I think, the Blue Santa.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I threw out there.
Yeah, they were really good. They would go around and really make the holiday season good for a lot of kids that their families couldn't afford to really give them the holiday they needed.
There is something I posted on my district page coming up for the kids. There's a sort of like an internship, and Mayor Dellis is going to run it. So they're doing the meet and greet, I believe, Thursday or Friday. And that's a great opportunity for your kid to do something, positive for the community, and to to make some connections with the people at City Hall.
So how does
I'm sure they'll be more than receptive.
Jeff?
I mean, my my cell phone, man. People could call me 24/7. If I answer, I'll certainly get back to you. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on the forum a lot. I don't know exactly my link for the Facebook, but it's Jeffrey P. East. And there's also the District 42 page.
Okay.
For the Union District 42 page. But anybody in my area, you only need to look out your window. You'll see me at least once a day walking by or driving by.
All right. Well,
I try and stay out there.
Thanks a lot, man. We're glad you could join us, man, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to come on, and I've listened to the show now, and I've been enjoying it. I know you had Kevin Woodbridge on there.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Big fan, and what was it, Just Jules?
Yeah, Just Jules. She graduated from Union. She's a lifelong resident. Her family's been around forever. Me and her families go back a long, long time. She actually lives in Houston now, but she's still embedded with the town.
Yeah, that was great. That was a nice interview.
Yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Jeff. Great talking to you.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.